talk about Superhuman Go. That's the company, the product. But first, I'm going to explain, and I think that's what one of the things that Carolina said, the confusion around, I think, Grammarly, Superhuman, what is it, who bought who, how does that work, right? So Grammarly has been around for 16 years, right? And Grammarly is the product that you guys know and use that used to be a company that was called Grammarly, right? They had a product called Grammarly. So it was very easy, right? And then, well, with all the developments, right, and the speed of change that we're seeing these days, due to AI, we also saw that there was a shift on what's possible. And so as part of that, we started to prepare, let's say, our business and start to evolve our business. So about a year and a half, 2 years ago, Grammarly bought another company, okay, which was called Coda. So Grammarly had two products, Grammarly and Coda, right? Coda is a work management solution. We can talk to you a bit more later, but it's a place where you can track, where you can write, where you can manage tasks, where you can write documentation, right? And then about a year ago, Grammarly, the company, bought Superhuman Mail, which is a AI mail client. If you guys use email, I'm a big fanboy of that product, by the way. But it's a very good email tool for improving the speed into like you check emails. But then you can see the problem because you have a company called Grammarly, and they own 3 different products: Superhuman Mail, they own Coda, and they own Grammarly. And so we felt that Grammarly was a bit of a limiting name because it does really well in I guess explaining the grammar part of it, which is what traditionally known for. But because of all the different things that we are doing and that we still want to do, it was limiting. So we did something which is a bit weird in the business acquisition world, which is we bought a company, Superhuman Mail, and then we took their name. Right? So we rebranded the company to Superhuman, and that's where the I think some of the confusion comes from. So it was not Superhuman who bought Grammarly, right? It's Grammarly that bought Superhuman Mail, but then we took their name. Okay, and then not only we did that, but we then also in a way rebranded or we evolved the Grammarly product, right, to a thing that we call Superhuman GO, and that's what a bit of what I'm going to get through today. Okay. So now you have a company which is called Superhuman that has a product which is Coda, a product that's Superhuman Mail, a product that's Superhuman Go, and we still use the Grammarly product, right? So we still have the Grammarly product, even though we're slowly moving more people towards the Superhuman Grow product, which has all the functionalities of Grammarly and some more. And I think that's what I'm gonna show you a bit today. It's a bit of a long story, and I can understand it's confusing. But I think that explains. I don't know if there's any questions on the naming and the products and stuff that you guys want to know, or can I move on?
Fine.
Cool, clear. Okay. So can you guys see here? Let me open here. Can you see here the Grammarly logo, right? This is the
Yes,
this is what you this is what you're familiar with, right? The Grammarly extension, right? And the Grammarly desktop.
yes.
I'm going to be mostly talking about Superhuman Go here, which is when you activate Grammarly, the Superhuman Go experience. So the product changes name. It has all the Grammarly functionalities, everything you know, and etc. from Grammarly and more. And that's what I refer to as Superhuman Go through this presentation, okay? What's the difference, okay? And let me just take share a different screen so I can show you something. So, well, you're familiar with the Grammarly corrector, right? That's here helping you. The Superhuman Go, it's the same thing. Let me just get it, the other one here a sec. But instead of giving you grammar suggestions like you're used to, right? It can do much more. So here, right, if I was writing this, it would come up with this little box that you might recognize saying, you misspelled this, or this is how you write this, right? Grammarly still does that, okay? But now it has all these new options, okay? So it lets you not only improve your writing, okay, but it also lets you do all kinds of things based on how you want to configure it, okay? And that's where you as an institution have the power to decide how it would work. So we can do all the Grammarly things. So this is me accessing some of the things that you know as Grammarly, right? It can do all the Grammarly, the proofreading. It can do the reader reactions. It can do all the different grammar functionalities, but it can also connect to other third-party tools. And for example, in this case here, it creates a Jira issue, right? Because that's how we have configured. But you as an institution could say, whenever a student is writing something, you want it here to be, explain this to me, right? Or tell me how my professor, Carolina, would approach this topic, right? You can actually configure what the AI is telling both the staff and the students. And that's the big difference between Superhuman Go and Grammarly. It has all the functionalities of Grammarly, but it lets you connect and do much more, okay? It also works as an AI assistant, right? So you see here, this thing that I'm opening on the side is effectively a ChatGPT kind of chat experience. So a student can come here and just chat with it. You can be like, what is the capital of Paris, right? And it would answer, right? It can also do things like email this to Samsung, which is this is my boss, right? So this is also something you can configure. We configured so that it's connected to our emails. So I don't have to open my email, copy information, paste it in my email, and send it. I can just say, yeah, email this information to that's on my page to my boss, and it knows, like, it knows who my boss is. It's connected to my email. If I click approve, it sends, right? And so this is what we call AI agents that can perform actions on behalf of the students or the staff, right? And this is the area where we're seeing a lot of developments with the universities that we are working with, right? We are helping them understand their use cases and build solutions for their use cases with an artificial intelligence. I'll go back to the presentation, that just like Grammarly is present everywhere you are working, right? So if you're working on Google Docs, it's there. If you're working on Word, it's there, but it's proactive, right? Just like Grammarly, who provides proactive grammar recommendations, we're providing proactive recommendations of any type of things that you decide you want to provide to your students and your staff, right? And connect to all the tools that you, again, want to connect. So I always like giving examples, right? We have a university who developed a lot of AI agents, right? I'm talking to a university here in Spain and said, we develop all these AI agents. They are in our platform. Our student to access it, they need to go to our platform, log in, go to this AI space, and they can chat with our agents, okay? The problem is they said no one is using it, right? Why no one is using it? And I think that's one of the things that our product shines really well, is that it's hard to access, it's difficult to start using, right? And so what this university did is actually they started putting their AI agents in our platform, right? Which is actually very easy to do. And here, and so now the students, by just doing this, opening this window here, they can use the university's AI agents. I don't know if you guys are developing AI agents, Lucy, since you're the only newcomer. I'm just curious if you have like already things set up, or if you guys have stuff to build. No. No, yeah. So I can give you some
Actually,
examples.
not personally, but I'm 100% sure that someone from Charles
Exactly.
University definitely did this work, but I personally did not.
Yeah. So, so some examples of what these universities are building and that I thought were interesting, right? So, one of them was access to information about the university, right? So a student who just got accepted and they want to ask a question, they could just come here, and if it's you would then as a university connect it to your knowledge base, and you could ask when are my lessons, right? And it would just, for example, I can ask here, it's connected to my calendar, so I can ask when am I free tomorrow, right? And it will look at my calendar and will give me that information. The student could ask, what are my lessons next week? How do I get student housing, right? All of this information that normally the students have to search, they can ask the product Superhuman GO, and and the students would have those answers. The students could do things like use specific agents for research. So imagine the university decides, actually, we don't want them to have a free reign of the ChatGPT, right? And we don't want them to basically ask anything and get any type of questions. We want the answers to be based on some certain criteria. So don't, for example, if a student asks what's 2 + 2, don't answer 4. Explain to them how to get to that solution, right? You can configure the agents so that they follow those criteria of the university, right? You can also configure that some students get that, some students get it something else, the teachers get something else, right? So I have one university that did exactly that. They create an agent that doesn't answer the exact questions, but it kind of tells students how to get to the answer, right? Another agent that I've seen is just for a class, and the professor made their own agent, right? So it's an economics professor, and he made their own agent, which has all the course material that the student can ask questions, interact with, right? But it's that the professor who set up that agent, which is with their course material, right? And so these are some of the examples of things that universities are building with Superhuman GO, right? I think there's other one which is lesson summary, so you can, if there's a recording of the lesson, you can ask questions about it. There is a bunch of different agents that we have already set up, but it's actually pretty straightforward to even build an agent, right? What I'm showing you here now is actually one way to build agents. You can build it with code as well, by the way. So if you have like a complex use case, you can do it with code. But this is, very simple instructions. What do you want the agent to do? What content do you want it to access, right? What files? And you can then, that's how easy like a professor or a member of staff can make an agent available to their students, and then it will be available to them, through this agent experience, very easy to access as well for the students, right? And so that's a little bit of what Superhuman GO is versus Grammarly. Again, it includes all the all the Grammarly functionalities of checking your text, coming up with suggestions, improving, etc. That's all the same, but it adds all of this functionality here. Are there any questions on that part? Yeah. Lucy?
Just to be sure, these functionalities are available via plugin in Firefox or browser.
Yeah, and on desktop.
In desktop, okay.
Yeah.
So there is no chance to have them via browser without plugin or some app. Just via browser plugin.
Browser and the desktop. So if you have it on your desktop, it also works. Desktop installed.
Okay.
So it could be plugin.
It could be, and the app.
Yeah, but the app, you mean you on the phone, or you mean on the desktop app?
I'm currently on my desktop without any plugins. So yes. I'm curious.
Yes, there is a desktop version.
Okay, and how can I find it?
Yes, I can send it to you, and you have access to that. I don't know if you have the Grammarly desktop version installed.
I hope.
Let me send it to you, the Grammarly one, and then there's an update to get the Superhuman experience. Yeah, so it will be the same the same desktop app that you have for Grammarly.
Okay.
If you can find it, I can also work with you. We can do a one-to-one, and I can set you up. I've done that with some people, just help you configure and get you started as well.
Currently, I'm just curious because definitely Charles University currently does not have available AI agents via It's
Yeah.
sorry,
As a yeah,
it's
no, all good.
not allowed in admin, definitely.
Yeah. So you guys are an institution, so you have an institutional license. So you need to see like how to activate those things. So you probably need to talk to, well, someone that would activate those if you guys want to activate it. Exactly. Yeah. And you guys want that activated or not?
Right now, it's too fast for me, so I have to think about it and discuss it with stakeholders, etc., etc. But I'm curious about how to use it in the future, and for this discussion with stakeholders, I want to have the complex information regarding how, who, when, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We can help you set up with because you have your institutional license, right? Which is following all the institutional rules. We can set you up like an individual license that is outside of that, so you can play with it. So you can test the functionalities without touching your institutional license, for example. That could be a way so you can.
Okay, this can be interesting for us.
Yeah. So that you can start playing with it without touching all the institutional things. You can like have some trials. Yeah.
Love this idea.
Yeah. And so you see, I'm going to quickly share the screen again here.
After this, I can address all of our members of this group if they are interested to play and to experience in the beta version of this Superhuman Go, to see if it will give them some approach and insight how to use those AI agents.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit similar to like this is my like the Grammarly setup where I'm sure you guys have something like this where you can see some progress of students and you have configurations. There is a similar thing for the Superhuman Go product where you can configure it, and then that's I think one of the unique selling points that we have as well, where you can decide what your students have access to, which students have access to what, which teachers have access to what, and you can control that experience as an institution. Yeah. Okay. Then there's another thing that I wanted to discuss, which is of course we have over 3,000 educational like institutions as customers, right? So we are working with a lot of institutions, rolling out those things, that I just showed, different AI agents, but we're also launching new solutions specifically targeted at educational institutions. One of those solutions that I was asked to speak today is Grammarly. We still use the name Grammarly. Is Grammarly authorship or authorship feature. Are you guys familiar with that? Is there anyone using it or no? Okay, so I'll first explain why it exists. Okay, it comes from the issue that we are all very familiar with of students using artificial intelligence to generate their work. We know, people I think in the industry know it's a problem, and a lot of people are thinking of different ways, right, to address this. And I think there's a lot of debate, and people can kind of go on either side. I think to a certain degree, that actually students need to use AI. They need to learn how to use AI. I mean, they're going to the job market. There is some degree of or a big degree of where they should be able to learn and use AI tools, but you also want them to be able to think for themselves and create moments, right, where they have to come up with their own original ideas and texts, right? If you use a traditional AI detector, right, I think, for example, Turnitin has that, where you upload the document. We even have that where you use an AI to check for AI, right? And the trouble with that is that it's very shaky, right? My sister is in university right now, and she tells me like if you ever get caught like with AI, students can just say, no, I didn't use AI, right? And you can never really get penalized for that because it's a university saying, no, you did, because I have an AI that says that you use AI. And I have my sister said she used an AI detection tool on a paper that she did before ChatGPT was a thing, and then it detects, oh yeah, you've used AI here, right? So I think the point is that there's a lot of fault in those AI detectors. And so one of the solutions that we worked on with a university, so we built that together with a university in the United States, is authorship. Okay, and how does that work? It takes a bit of a different approach to to AI detection, okay? So this is just, a blank document, right? And imagine I'm just a student writing, and I can just, start writing, right? What you have to do here is, this is the authorship thing. So you can actually track the work as you're doing it, right? So this is not an AI detection where you do a work and then you send for an AI to detect. Is a detection where you're tracking, and this is because it has access to, of course, your browser and your computer, is tracking everything that you're doing, right? And so once you're done, the student gets a report, right? That says, what did you write? What did you copy from somewhere? Like, what did you copy from a website? What did you copy from Wikipedia? What did you rephrased, right? What you didn't track, right? If you turn off the tracker at some point, what you weren't tracking. And so this is the feature that we call authorship, okay? This link the student can share, right, with the university. And so is a solution for well, the AI detection, and it shows the students as they're writing what they're doing, right? So it's trying to position it as, we know you're going to use AI, right? But you also know that you are meant to think constructively about this. So as you are writing your assignment, you can just check, okay, where did I use AI? Where didn't I use AI? And when you're satisfied with the work that you have produced, you can submit that to your institution, to your professor, and the professor can require this, or can they not require this, right? Depending on the professor, depending on the course. And then you have a certificate of authenticity, okay? And this is, again, authorship. If you have like the Grammarly product, you should have access to this feature already, and should be able to start using. But this is one example of a solution that we're building together with some universities, right? There's a few more. There's one which is called Notebooks, which is effectively, instead of asking students to write in a doc, a Google Doc, we actually give them another writing surface, which is a notebook that we have, where the tracking is done automatically, and there's some the Grammarly agents are more present, and it's something that we're currently working on, and it's coming soon. But it is also where I open up the floor, I think, to the universities as you are going through your AI processes and thinking of solutions. Is also an opportunity for you guys to come to us and tell us, Rodrigo, we've been thinking about this, and we've been thinking about setting up this type of processes or document, or this type of AI solution. And then we can help you guys at least think about it. And in some cases, if it makes sense, co-develop solutions, just like we did here for authorship. Any questions about authorship? No?
Maybe just me. It's in English. It works fully in English, German, French, Spanish, Portuguese.
Well, so it will track your work. So the authorship will work in any language.
Yeah, any language. Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay,
Yeah,
works in any language. Okay.
Yeah, because it will just say, like, did you just copy from ChatGPT and paste it here, or you didn't? It doesn't look at, was this AI text AI generated, right? It's actually seeing, because it has access to the student's computer, is seeing what they're doing, if they're copying, if they're pasting, if they're asking ChatGPT or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Again here. On the screen. Yeah. So I think just to summarize, right? The Superhuman GO, and this animation kind of shows a little bit, right? It shows the proofreader reactions, which is one of the Grammarly, right, features, right? It reviews the text and proofreads it, right? Is present in Superhuman GO. The tool works everywhere, just like you've been known to use Grammarly. You can use it on the Google Docs, you can use it on your email, you can use it on Figma, you can use it on Teams, right? It's always going to be there present, coming up with recommendations and suggestions. The product follows that. and it's connected. So you can actually connect to your internal apps. You can connect it to Moodle. You can connect it to all the different products and internal data and tools that you're currently using for your university. You can connect them so that the students and the staff has access to them through that chat version, right? And it's proactive, right? So it's not waiting for people to go in and ask AI to do something, just like I kind of showed here, right? It's popping up and saying like how can I help, right? And you as an institution can define what this proactivity means, right? And again, you can configure, right? So, and this is the nice thing where I really recommend universities to just start playing around. It is very easy to set up this type of things, right? I have a partner who set up their first agent like in 5 minutes, right? They set up an agent that whenever you mention a professor's name, right, and then you can see, and then notifications pops up, and then you can see their schedule for the calendar for the professor, right? When their next classes are. Right, because it connected to the institution's lessons schedule, right? So whenever a professor name is mentioned, you could just select again, and it will come up there. Oh, okay, that's when they have the next schedule, the next lesson. And that's the evolution, right? That's why we're not called Grammarly anymore. There's a lot more than grammar in there. And there's a lot more power that you have for the product that you already know and use. And as mentioned, we can then work with you to test that, to validate, to experiment, and to decide what do you want to make available to your institution or not. If the answer is I just want to continue using the grammar suggestions and I don't want my students to have access to anything else, that's still possible, right? That's okay. If you want them to have access to chat, then they can have access to chat. If they want to have access to chat, but just with some limitations, those are all things that you as an institution have the power to decide. Okay. This is a little bit of what I had prepared, hoping that it explains a little bit of the reality of the product and the company right now and how it affects you guys. Are there any questions? Anything else you want to know? Yes, Lucy.
Thank you. First thing first, thank you. And it was too much information for me, and I will have to proceed it somehow. Too much news. But let's speak in the elephant on the room. How about pricing policy regarding this new, massive, no longer Grammarly and spell checker product?
Yeah.
What can we expect?
So I don't think you should expect too much difference. I haven't seen, to be honest, I don't know what the institution price, because I'm not normally working in the institution sector. I'm covering, but I'm not seeing, I cannot make any promises or anything about pricing either, but I'm not seeing any significant price increase from the product. I know, Carolina, if you've seen something else, because you're more closely watching when you're quoting customers.
So for Grammarly as itself, we are still upkeeping around 4 or 5% up each year, but no more, because just Grammarly internally decided that the increase shouldn't go that much higher. I hope we can we will keep on it. And regarding this Superhuman GO, I didn't see the pricing until now, because this is really fresh. And people, I think, are still trying to find out how it works. So everything runs in beta version currently.
Okay.
So currently, the all institutions across the globe are going to continue with basic Grammarly as a product, and they will decide about Superhuman.
They can opt in if they want.
Or dancing and singing. But it's optional.
It's optional.
It's
optional. You don't have to. Yes, you don't have to go for it.
No forced upgrade.
No.
We can still go with Grammarly as a Grammarly.
Yes.
Yes, and only use the Grammarly features.
Spell checker, grammar, maybe some AI, but not this massive, huge, complex.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still some new AI functionalities and features are available in Grammarly.
Yeah, you have, well, some of the basic things, I don't know. There is the translate, there is the rephrase, there's shorten, there's those little added flavors, let's say, that are still the basic of, improve this text, write better, communicate better.
Yeah, because I'm currently looking in admin panel, and I see beta docs with agents, agent access, humanizer, paraphraser, redirection, citation finder, blah blah blah. So some AI
Exactly.
features can be allowed even in Grammarly.
Yeah, and you said it's a lot of information. If you want, we can also do another session, a bit of, because it's lower dive, and we can talk a little bit about your use cases, right? And what are you guys thinking and doing, and we can go more into the specifics of that.
What is my suggestion? And I'm speaking on behalf of my institution. Definitely,
Yeah.
this solution will not suit everyone. I will share this meeting, the recording, with our AI team and open the discussion with them. And probably they will want to talk with you too and see some more features, maybe in a slower rate, because this meeting was like super fast and everything was super new. And after this meeting, maybe we can discuss our possibilities, opportunities, etc., etc. I don't want to promise anything, but definitely we want to know what is available for us and what is available on the market.
Sounds good. I think this is, for us also as a company, it's a conversation, right, that we're having. As I said, we're working with institutions to understand how they're thinking, what do they want, right? And helping them get there based on our experience working, of course, with the technology products and AI tools. But no one has the AI like fully answers, right? I've been going to a lot of educational events recently. I went to one in Oxford last month, and another one in Madrid, at the University of Madrid last month. And these are conversations. Everyone has different views. Everyone is trying different things, right? And so we are not only just gonna say, hey, this is the product and this is how you should use it, and right, it is opportunity for us also to listen from you guys how you're perceiving the challenges that you're seeing, so that we can co-develop these solutions and empower you guys to make those decisions about your own institutions. So yeah, conversations, calls, discoveries, all these kind of sessions I think are very useful at this stage. So also can schedule some of those conversations with Carolina, and we can share with you guys what we're also learning and doing from other institutions around the world.